Been out in the sun all day, and so I probably look like a beat. let's get that off of my face. We don't need to look at me anyway. What we want to look at is this Duster, my 1971 Plymouth Duster, my old race car, which is now my new race car. We've got some work to do, and we're finally back out in the garage to try and do a little bit of that work. I did have it up on the rack, wanting to try and get some underside stuff done before I brought it back down and moved topside. That sucks. I'm not going to try and mess with that too much right now, because I'd rather not repaint the car. I'm trying to decide where to start, and that's kind of been my thing. It needs a few things, and I did order a few things, some of which have shown up. I've got some steel braided line there. I'm going to be doing some transmission cooler action. I bought a few fittings, and man, I'm still really tempted to pull this thing out and clean it. It sat for a long time, and it did not get the clean before it got shoveled up in there. There is no transmission mount in here either. I noticed that at one point. I don't remember if I noticed it during the last video. And then get some fasteners. I started a list. I'll have to see if those things are on it. We have to prime it. We have to put push rods in it. We have to lash the valves. So it's a laundry list of things. These tires shot. And it is a shorter tire than I've typically run. I ran a 26 on it when I had it last, and I run a 26 on my Dart. There's a spider in there that's dead, I think. Yeah, it does look dead. Oh man, I found a black widow in the garage here a little bit ago too. I do want to be sure what I'm dealing with here. Yeah, he's scary looking. I have the drive shaft. It's brand new. One of the last things that happened in this car was the old one got wadded up. He had a brand new one built. It's never been in the car. But if I'm pulling that trans, we're not going to put that in yet, obviously. I'll have to find out if that fuel filter is new. I may have to change that, but I do want to kind of flush the tank out since it's been sitting for so long. I mean, it's sealed up pretty good, so it might not be an issue, but we definitely want to check it. And same with this line. We'll flush it from the pump up to the front as well. We'll flush the transmission cooler lines. I loaned my priming rod away a long time ago, and it never came back. And I also have an electric fan in here. I got it from Summit Racing. Keeping it cool since 1969. We'll set that aside. We don't need that immediately. Maybe we can have Arthur Bonington hold it. There you go, Boner. I do have a list I've started. There's some randoms on there. Wanted to make sure trans mount is on there. That's good. Hey, Kuda. Really? This is the fun part about shop cats. It's like, I don't give a crap that you're reading a list or looking at it. Yep, there you go. Thank you. Yeah, trans cross member bolts, the cooler line fittings, which I do have now. So I still need a trans mount, and we need a trans shield for this thing. The problem with that is most of the metal ones don't fit under stock tunnels. I have a filter, an old filter. Told you I was going to get that fram off of there. There we go. I think I have at least made the decision to pull the trans down and clean it. Well, trans is out. We'll go look at it in just a second. Here's the converter. It does look new. You see a little assembly lube on the hub here, or the snout, or whichever end that is. The unit that slides into the transmission. I don't know whose converter this is, and I need to put a little fluid in there. It looks like it's dry other than the lube on the end here. And yeah, we are a little crusty inside here. Rust on the pump. Looks like I need a dipstick too. I think Cope has a nice one. I should be giving him a call and getting one of those ordered up. And always use this on your transmission jack, the safety chain to hold that sucker down. If you know, you know. And you see the tail shaft looks a little different than the average car, passenger car tail shaft. Some extra ribbing there, and the little C-clip hiding behind that is on the side, whereas generally you find that underneath in a passenger car. So guessing this came out of a van or a truck or something like that. I'm gonna crank this over just a little bit. It spins nice. But I want to find the SFI sticker. Supposedly was a brand new SFI unit here. Yeah. Where the heck's the sticker, man? There was some stamping on the other side of it. Cat Performance Products. FP-440L or something. Test and meet SFI 29.1 specification. But these expire. Dang it. So there's no sticker. I have no idea to know how old it actually is. I believe it's new. He told me it was new. It looks really nice. Looks like a dry pan. We'll put that plug back in. We're gonna put that plug back in. We definitely don't want to unleash any dirt into that pan. Here's the after. It's not the shiniest, but I did get that layer of dirt and dust off of there. Scrubbed it with a toothbrush, some brake cleaner. I got my new AN fittings installed in there so we can hook up the transmission cooler lines. Same with the inside here. It looked like it had been painted at some point. The brake cleaner took some of that out. That's okay. The pump surface was a little bit rusty. I got some of that out of there. I'm not gonna worry too much about that. The CSR shield, you do have to shave some of these pieces. I can't remember yet that this ear here has to go. This ear and you know this piece, which is for linkage in a factory application. Well, the pan is off. Trying to get a good idea of this fluid. Looks a little dark. Transmission, to my understanding, was rebuilt. You can definitely see some assembly lube up there in this piston. Fluid looks clear. So we can surmise that at least it has been torn apart. I'm trying to decide whose valve body this is. It's a trans brake valve body. So, I mean, it's definitely dry, as in not been filled with fluid after the build. Tough to say what's down under there. I was hoping it had some extra good parts in it, like a billet drum and an upgraded sprag. Only way to know for sure is if I tear it all the way down. I don't have any reason not to believe that it was built. So I think at this point, we'll put the pan back on, get it back in the car, and we'll work for the safety equipment. If this valve body looks familiar to anybody, let me know. This valve body's a little different. Where you see the filter, the screen, has 3 holes for fasteners. This one was only attached by 2. And I'd have to measure. I mean, that is a deeper than stock pan. And the valve body makes up for some of that. But this one, I don't think it's terribly deep in the pan. I do worry about that a little bit. I don't like pulling the screen off and seeing all of this crap. And there's some dirt in the pan. Over here in the corner where the dipstick goes. That, we can explain. They didn't get the magnet cleared off, so we'll pull that. There's a little bit of junk around the magnet. I mean, I like the magnet. So, man, it's just shortcuts, I think. And that's the thing with trans guys, Who are the meticulous ones? Who are the ones that go through things carefully and cleanly and, don't leave stuff like this behind? I mean, everything up here looks good and clean. You just, that's the risk, you know, when you get something that somebody else built. But for now, we're going to clean this stuff up, and we'll slap the pan back on it, and we'll look to put it back in the car. It'll have to come out again once I get the safety stuff, the shield. We've got stuff we got to get done that really needs the transmission in the car. Working on putting in the transmission mount. I sprung for a polyurethane, so I'm just trying to get it lined up to where all the bolts go through the transmission cross member. And then I actually need to find some bolts to go into the mount to the transmission tail shaft. Working on the transmission cooler lines at the moment. This is some steel braided hose. Got all of this stuff from Summit Racing. I mark my hose for the length I want. I do that by wrapping electrical tape around the end of it. When I cut it, that keeps the fraying to a minimum. Then what we do is we lube these ends up, and then we basically work these over the end of the hose until you can see it right below the threads. Get it all the way pushed in there, or you might have some leaks. You can insert this piece, basically trying to shove it into the end of the hose here, through the end of the red fitting. And then you'll thread that in. You see the threads here. There's threads on the inside of that. We'll do that twice, and I'll show you the finished product. I used their anti-seize thread sealant on the threads, and to me it kind of acts a little bit like a lubricant as well. And we have one assembled section of hose. I already pre-built the other section. We'll go ahead and test fit this one now. And there we have it. Transmission cooler lines installed. I do need to pull them out. I'm going to flush the cooler portion of things since this is a fresh trans. Well, we're slowly but surely figuring things out. And we have figured out at this point that a 26-inch tall tire looks a lot better on the front of the Duster. We're in a header dilemma right now. This set that was in the car has very little to no clearance with the 26 tall tire, which is probably why he had a 24 on it. We've got to fix this tube. Well, that tube, there's some cracking there. So we have some repair to do on this set if we're going to use them. I had a couple other sets of fender well headers. And this set I found makes significant sense clearance-wise. One of these I have to do a little bit of repair as well. Actually, I can't find it now. Oh, this one. Quite the hole in the tube there. You don't want a hole in your tube that close to the flange for sure. So I've got some decisions to make. One, repair the ones that were on the car and figure out how to make clearance. Or just run these, which have already been clearanced. So I spent some time on the header debate. This is the driver's side header that came off of the car. Kind of looks like a part number. Maybe I should look that up. These are both super hooker comps. Jeez Louise. These are hooker super comps, both of them. Both have large tubes. I believe the tubes to be the same on both sets. But the flange is obviously... Dang it, found another hole. The flange is obviously different. Larger, wider. This is an Indy head motor that we're going on here. No restriction at all. These are definitely bigger than the exhaust ports on the heads. This side, however, not quite. So now I have a dilemma. So I welded up a hole in these and gave them the marketplace makeover to make them look halfway decent. But I'm not wanting to stifle the flow, you know, I want them to breathe. And these things have definitely been through the ringer. And I welded up the cracks that we could see in previous videos. But I did find another crack in this pipe. My main reason for wanting to use the other set is tire clearance. This set with the 26 tall tire, not a lot of room. In fact, they rub pretty quick, pretty easily. Whereas this set, not so much. What would you do? The other crack welded. No, I'm not going to grind that down. It's on the underside of the pipe. It just needs to seal and send the exhaust gases through here to here. But all things considered, it does look like I'm going to at least try to make these work for my taller tire. I have been busy on the inside of the car. I wire wheeled it, basically cleaned off all the scale, and then rust treated it. And I'll probably put some paint over that at some point. I have found a couple things that need to be taken care of. I'd like to grind that down a little bit more, the old roll bar spot. I worked on the back ones a little bit. Yeah, that's going to take a little bit, so I'm probably not going to worry about that. Looks like I need to do a little bit more rust treatment in some of that spot. But I'm finding holes. Obviously, with time, these cars rust. Got a pinhole there. That's got to be sealed up. Same with this. Passenger side looks largely better. Same kind of thing now. We've got some rust spots to treat and get kind of covered up. But I found some bad spots in the floor. We are going to end up cutting some little pieces out for sure. We'll see how far I end up going. You can see it's nice and pitted in there. I'm not trying to do the whole floor, but I will make it so I can seal it up. But that's what we've been up to. So, yeah, progress is being made, albeit slow. Kind of thinking that's the original color of the car. I thought it had been limelight originally. I know, I'm sure some of you are saying, why didn't you start on the engine, get it running? I know, right? I agree, why didn't I? In the meantime, guys, we'll keep the videos coming. We definitely got to get this thing rolling. It needs to hit the track this year. Certainly needs to hit Mexico. That may be what happens first. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. If you are a subscriber already, thank you very much. If you're not, please give that some consideration. I'd love to have you on board. Stick around and see what we do next. And yeah, we are hoping to start this engine soon. All 500 cubic inches of it. It's time to party. Thanks for watching, guys. And we'll see you on the next one.